If you're a man over 60 and you feel like you're planning your life around the nearest men's room, I need you to listen up. As a urologist, I've seen thousands of men chalk this up to just being a normal part of getting older. But what if I told you that a common, seemingly harmless daily habit could be the real reason your prostate problems are getting worse? I had a patient, a great guy, who thought he was doing the right thing for his health every single day. But that one choice led him down a road of serious discomfort and some truly devastating consequences. In this video, I'm going to share his story and break down the 5 daily habits I wish every man over 60 would stop doing. Stick with me, because the last one is the most critical. It's the one my patient was doing, and it's something way too many men are doing right now without a second thought. Let me tell you about Harold. Harold was a 68-year-old retired teacher, a guy full of life who loved being in his garden and playing with his grandkids. Like a lot of men his age, he started noticing the classic symptoms: waking up half the night to go, a stream that had lost its power, and that constant annoying feeling of pressure. His family doctor did the standard thing. He prescribed a daily pill for his enlarged prostate, or BPH. Harold was relieved. He took that pill like clockwork every morning, thinking he was finally tackling the problem. And for a little while, things did seem a bit better. But over the next few years, strange new issues started cropping up. He'd get dizzy whenever he stood up too fast, a condition we call orthostatic hypotension. He even took a tumble getting out of a chair. Thankfully, he wasn't badly hurt, but it rattled his confidence. His energy just vanished, and he lived with a persistent brain fog that he just figured was old age creeping in. The worst part for Harold, though, was what the medication did to his personal life. It caused problems with ejaculation, which put a real strain on his marriage. He felt this sense of loss he couldn't quite put into words and was too embarrassed to bring it up with his doctor. So he just kept taking the pill, day after day, figuring this was the trade-off he had to accept. The breaking point came when his symptoms got so bad that his medication clearly wasn't cutting it anymore. He'd developed complications from his BPH that had been masked by the medication, problems that now required a much more invasive intervention. The daily habit he thought was his solution had actually allowed his condition to silently worsen. Harold's story is a wake-up call that a simple fix isn't always simple, and without the right oversight, it can have dangerous consequences. Now let's break down the habits that can get you into a situation like Harold's, starting with the ones that quietly make everything worse. Habit number 1, the sedentary trap. Sitting is sabotaging your prostate. The first habit I see just crushing the health of men over 60 is sitting around too much. You sit for your morning coffee, sit at a desk, sit to watch the game, and sit in the car. We live in a world of chairs, but every hour you spend sitting can be detrimental to your prostate health. While sitting doesn't directly crush your prostate, a sedentary lifestyle is strongly linked with worse urinary symptoms. Why? Because movement is key for good circulation and keeping systemic inflammation in check. When you're inactive for long stretches, you're not getting that healthy blood flow through the pelvic region, and you're fostering a state of low-grade inflammation throughout your body, and the prostate is often where that inflammation can make its presence felt, worsening BPH symptoms. I had a patient, a retired accountant, who had this nagging, dull ache and feeling of fullness he couldn't shake. It turns out he was spending nearly 8 hours a day parked in his favorite armchair. The fix here is surprisingly simple, but you've got to be consistent. You don't need to run a marathon. Just get up every 30 to 45 minutes. Walk around the house, stretch your legs, do a few gentle squats. Breaking up long periods of sitting is one of the most powerful things you can do for your prostate. Habit number 2, dehydration and poor timing, the double-edged sword of fluid intake. This one sounds like a contradiction, I know, but both not drinking enough water and drinking too much at the wrong time can absolutely torture your prostate symptoms. First, let's talk about dehydration. A lot of guys, fed up with running to the bathroom all night, will intentionally drink less. This is a huge mistake. When you don't drink enough, your urine becomes super concentrated. This concentrated acidic urine is a major irritant to the lining of your bladder. An irritated bladder is a hyperactive bladder. It will send you urgent, gotta go now signals even when it's nowhere near full, which in turn aggravates your prostate symptoms. The other side of the coin is drinking too much, especially in the evening. Guzzling water, tea, or, and this is a big one, alcohol in the 2 or 3 hours before you go to bed is a guaranteed recipe for what we call nocturia, or waking up all night to urinate. The key is balance and timing. Try to drink most of your fluids. About 2 liters is a good goal before 6 p.m. And sip, don't chug. This keeps you hydrated with clear, non-irritating urine during the day and gives your body plenty of time to process it before you hit the sack. A patient of mine cut his nighttime bathroom trips from 4 to just 1 simply by shifting his fluid intake to earlier in the day. It was a game changer for his sleep. Habit-3. The Western diet. You're feeding inflammation. The food on your plate has a direct line to the level of inflammation in your body, and your prostate is no exception. The typical Western diet, heavy on red meat, processed foods, bad fats, and sugar, is like throwing fuel on an inflammatory fire. When you eat a lot of red and processed meats, your body produces inflammatory compounds. Mix that with unhealthy fats and sugar, and you can disrupt your hormones and promote systemic inflammation that can settle right in the prostate. That belly fat so many of us carry, it's not just sitting there, it's an active factory churning out inflammatory chemicals. Look, you don't have to become a vegan monk overnight. The goal is balance. Try leaning into a Mediterranean-style diet, which is loaded with fruits, vegetables, healthy fats from olive oil, and oily fish like salmon. These foods are packed with anti-inflammatory goodness. Here's a simple trick. For every piece of red meat on your plate, add 2 big servings of colorful veggies, or try having a meatless day or 2 each week. These small, steady changes can starve inflammation and give your prostate what it needs to thrive. If you're getting some value out of this and maybe recognizing a habit or 2, do me a quick favor and hit that like button. And if you want to keep learning how to take back control of your health, make sure you subscribe. It really helps get this information out to more men who need to hear it. Habit number 4. Ignoring nature's call. The pressure problem. This habit is so common it feels normal, but it's so damaging. Regularly holding your pee. We do it all the time because we're busy, in the middle of something, or just trying to tough it out. Here's what's actually happening. Every time you ignore that urge, you're forcing your bladder to stretch beyond its capacity. Over time, this weakens the bladder muscle, making it harder to empty completely when you finally do go. That leftover stagnant urine can become a breeding ground for bacteria, raising your risk of urinary tract infections and causing irritation that just fuels the whole cycle of inflammation and urgency. I had a patient, a former coach, who prided himself on his discipline and would hold it for hours. He ended up with chronic urinary retention and had to learn how to self-catheterize. It was a miserable outcome that could have been avoided by just listening to his body. The fix is as simple as it gets. When you feel the urge to go, go. Don't wait for it to become a 5-alarm fire. Another pro tip is something called double voiding. After you finish, just relax on the toilet for 20 to 30 seconds and then try to go again. You'd be surprised what you can empty out, leaving your bladder happier and healthier. The number 1 habit to stop: the uncritical use of daily medication. This brings us right back to Harold and the single most dangerous habit I see: the uncritical, unmonitored, long-term use of daily prostate medication. Let me be crystal clear. Drugs for BPH like alpha blockers, tamsulosin, and 5-alpha reductase inhibitors, finasteride, can be fantastic and are often the right choice, but they are not a set-it-and-forget-it solution. These are powerful medications with real side effects that need to be respected. Alpha blockers like tamsulosin can cause dizziness, sudden drops in blood pressure when you stand up, and issues with ejaculation. There's even some emerging research looking into a possible link with a higher risk of dementia. 5-alpha reductase inhibitors like finasteride can cause more persistent sexual side effects and depression. Now, you may have heard they increase the risk of aggressive prostate cancer. That was a concern from early studies, but the thinking on this has changed. More recent analysis suggests this is likely due to detection bias. The medication shrinks the prostate, which can make existing cancers easier for us to find during a biopsy, rather than actually causing them. The dangerous habit isn't taking the pill. It's taking it year after year without having a real conversation with your urologist about how it's affecting you. It's writing off side effects as just getting old. It's letting a pill mask symptoms that might be pointing to a worsening problem, which prevents you and your doctor from making better decisions about your health. The solution is to be an active participant in your own healthcare. If you're on a daily prostate medication, you need regular check-ins with your doctor to reevaluate. Is this still the right drug at the right dose for you today? Discuss side effects. Are you having issues with dizziness, your sex life, or your mood? Don't be too embarrassed to talk about it. We've heard it all. Screen properly. Make sure you're still getting regular screenings like PSA tests and that your doctor is interpreting those results correctly, since these drugs can affect the numbers. So many men feel like their prostate health is just something that happens to them, like they're a passenger along for a bumpy ride. But as you've seen today, that is absolutely not the case. You have the power here. It's not about some radical, miserable overhaul of your life. It's about being aware. It's about choosing to stand up a little more often, to time your water intake, to throw some more veggies on your plate, to listen when your body whispers, and most importantly, to be a partner with your doctor, not just a patient. Don't let these seemingly small habits dictate the quality of your life. Pick one thing from this list and start today. Your future self, the guy who sleeps through the night and plans his day around his hobbies, not a bathroom, is going to thank you for it. If this video helped you, please share it with a friend or a family member who needs to hear this. And subscribe for more no-nonsense advice to help you stay healthy and strong for years to come. Take care of yourselves.